Good afternoon. Today is June 27th, 2014, and we're at the Travis Mine, about probably 25 miles northeast of Beatty, Nevada. This is another of our try before you buy mines. It's a program we pioneered to allow you to sample the ore from the mine prior to making a decision on purchasing the mine. So a true try before you buy. I'll make my usual disclaimer. I'm filming this myself. It's going to be shaky. This video is not meant to entertain. It's really meant to document our ore collection procedures and security of that ore. So when we seal a bucket and send it to you via UPS, you're going to get it in exactly the condition that we sealed it in, and I'll do it on camera so you'll see the whole process. We'll use 2 layers of security, which I'll show you. There's no way of tampering or opening or salting or baiting and switching. You have basically the opportunity to try the ore. If it meets with your expectations, you're also given a 45-day option, a legal contract allowing you first right on the mine. So you've got a month and a half to try the ore out, purchase the mine, or if you're not happy with it, you're under no obligation, no requirement to purchase the mine. You simply let your option expire, and that's it. You're done. So the way we do it on eBay, we do 2 listings at the same time. One for the actual mine, because it's a predetermined price, no games, and then the second is for the bucket of ore. Some people have chosen to just purchase the mine straight out, in which case we send you the ore for free, or again purchase the ore, try it out, and we pull down the listing on the mine because you have that 45-day period where you have the exclusive right to purchase the mine should the ore meet with your approval. So let me show you what we're going to do, and I'll take in a little bit of a tour, and then we'll collect some tailings. This is going to be a simple one, pretty extensive mine, but a very simple collection. First, we're going to do some testing on camera. My in-house legal counsel hates when I do this, but I'm going to give you actual results today. But with his requirement that I give you the legal disclaimer that what we're showing you today doesn't constitute a guarantee. Same as past performance. Even though this mine was a producing mine, that doesn't necessarily construe a guarantee of future performance. So got to keep the lawyers happy. We're going to do some testing with an extremely accurate Olympus Delta Premium XRF. Basically an X-ray fluorescence machine. It'll shoot a beam, an X-ray beam, very focused into a rock, give us a surface reading down to the molecular level, and subsurface reading to about 3 to 5 microns, depending on how long we keep the beam focused and which beam we use. And we're going for max penetration today, just because I've done half a day of sampling here, and the numbers are pretty darn good. First thing I'm going to do, you'll notice there's a test ingot. I don't know if you can see that in the base stand, just to show that the machine's in calibration. Always perform a calibration before we do any real world testing. So the test ingot contains a known alloy to the machine, and the XRF will read that, and if it sees any values off, then it tells you it's out of sync. It needs to be recalibrated. So first thing, normally you do this once a day, once every other day, but I always try to do it before every test. You can see that the calibration passed. Everything's working fine. I am going to take a GPS reading for you. This I am going to block out simply because I don't want the general public to see exactly where this mine is, because again, you have first right of refusal for that 45-day period. So I'll block this out, forgive me, but just for legal purposes, I'm going to show exactly where we are. Again, that's going to be blocked, but there's the lat and long and ironically elevation 3,916 feet. Let me just back out of that. So we've got that on file. Talk a little bit about the layers of security now. We're going to be using a 3-gallon bucket to collect the tailings, to collect the ore for you to test. If you've ever purchased a paint bucket, a large paint bucket at a Home Depot or Lowe's, that's typically a 5-gallon bucket. So 2 extra gallons on that one. This is 3 gallons, a little bit smaller, but a little easier to manage. It winds up being close to 40-45 pounds depending on the density of the material. So it's a pretty heavy bucket. First layer of security on these are food grade buckets, so they're designed to seal air, sand, anything. And once I hammer this lid on, the only way to open this is tear this pull tab all the way around and then pry it off. You probably could, I always say, spend a couple hours and try to pry this lid off without tearing this tab, or I should say we could, but there's just no way to do it without leaving tool marks and cracking the plastic. It's that tight of a seal. But just to add a second layer of security, we're going to use a product from Uline, a secure tape strip that is serialized. Each plastic strip of tape has its own serial number. In fact, if you want to look it up online, it's uline.com, and there's your part number. And if somebody tampers with this tape, cuts it, obviously it'll be evident, but if you try to peel it, it does not re-stick, and it'll give you the letters open. So you'll know by the residue left on it that it's been tampered with. For today's test, I'm going to give you the serial numbers that we're going to use. We're going to use two strips, one on either side of the bucket, just double security. November Mike 9803448 is your first serial number, and November Mike 9803449. So I'm going to take these up with me, and once we've filled that bucket, I'm going to go ahead and seal it. And when you get this from UPS, you'll see these serial numbers on there. So they're the only 2 serial numbers of its kind from Uline, and you'll know that the machine hasn't been tampered with. So let me take you on a little bit of tour. I'm going to take our XRF with us. What you're looking at is just one of 3 massive tailings piles here, pretty clearly separated. You have your waste material separated from what was intended for processing, and that's very easy to see by the color. This was at one time a large operation. There's actually 2 smaller mines on the claim itself, but we're gonna play around on the largest one here because this, I think, is where they pulled most of their money from. Pretty easy to access. Don't know if you can see the road. Definitely a 2-wheel drive road as long as you've got good tires. You'll come in off of Beatty Wash Road, and we'll show you the location. It's pretty easy to find. Overall, it's probably only maybe 1.75 miles, 2 miles from paved road, but 2-wheel drive, no problem. You could, with 4-wheel drive, come right up here. You've got a large flat surface where you could stage equipment, but you're probably going to pull material from down below where I'm parked. Just to show you where the original head frame stood, the foundation's still in place. That's probably about 50 to 60 feet from the mine itself. This shaft is very deep. I advise caution. It is collared and timbering still left, but I'm not sure I would trust it. Definitely rig up an A-frame. Of course, your best material, your best values are going to be down in the mine itself. All you have holding you is 3 strands of barbed wire, so again, caution. See if I can give you a little view inside. We're obviously, for safety purposes, not going to work in this mine itself. Actually, this isn't the best side. Let me switch over, see if I can get you a clearer shot inside. Remnants of the ladder man ladder and the ore lift still there. Again, I wouldn't trust them, but just evidence of the infrastructure on this mine. You probably can't see that because I'm not getting a clear shot of it. But really what we're interested in today are these massive piles of tailings that they've pulled out here, just literally waiting to be reworked. And with today's much more efficient processing methods, you know, what was considered too poor material for them to run back in the day is considered extremely profitable for us today. Of course, the price of gold has a huge impact. $200 to $1,600 an ounce makes a big difference. You've got thousands of yards of material here to work. I'm going to pick a little pile over here. They're pretty much all the same color and same readings. So right from here you're going to get a pretty good sampling. I'm going to set up on this tripod just so you get an idea where I'm filming. Bunch of old vent pipes, air pipes. There were horizontal workings, I believe, on 3 different levels here. So it was pretty extensive. That's the bucket we're going to fill. You'll see I've got it labeled Travis Mine, today's date, Beatty, Nevada, both sides and on the top. And when we're done again, I'll seal that and tape it shut. But I'm going to set up on the tripod here just so I can get a couple readings. I know I'm really throwing this camera around, so bear with me. Hopefully that gives you a pretty good view. Do a couple readings for you. Let's see. This will take about 40 seconds. Starting now, so we're going to run 2 beams, give us good penetration. Again, it is just a surface reading. A true fire assay would crush this rock, homogenize it, and then you'd be able to test all the way through. We can't do that with an XRF, but we can get you a pretty darn good reading. Again, down to about 5 microns, which will tell you what is below the surface and, of course, what is on the surface. This is about a $40,000 piece of equipment, so it's invaluable for mining in the field. All right, we're done. Don't know if you're going to be able to see this. I'm going to try. Everything is in parts per million. Of course, iron, number 1, 5,105 parts per million, but 572 parts titanium, zirconium, magnesium. Here's what we really want. There's obviously copper, zinc, gold on here, AU. See if I can zoom this in. 53 parts per million. That is just shy of 2 ounces per short ton. I believe it's 32 parts per million per ton. So not just shy. We're under. We're probably 1.8 ounces per ton, which is about consistent with what we're finding here. Silver. I passed my silver. Silver's 21 parts per million, so not quite an ounce a ton. I don't know if you can see that. I'm looking at it in the viewfinder, but I have a feeling the glare. See if there's anything else worth noting. Chromium, nickel, uranium, arsenic. Arsenic, by the way, 4.0 parts per million, very small amount, but in this area it's a known indicator for gold. It's typically found with gold. Vanadium, very high in iron, very high in titanium. I'm going to try another shot, different area. Again, about 40 seconds. The gun will actually take a picture. It's got LED lights, a low light camera. It'll take a picture of exactly where we shot it, and I always save that for future reference, as well as a report. 5 seconds left. Okay. Pretty similar, 3,339 parts per million iron. So again, fairly high in iron. And these, by the way, are an extremely high degree of accuracy, down to 3 or 4 parts per million. Titanium, 1,101 parts per million. Again, zirconium, chromium, magnesium, copper. And here's what we're looking for. This one's a little higher on gold. I'll probably get in trouble, but this one is 59 parts per million. Pretty consistent with what we had last time, but you're right about there at 2 ounces per ton. Uranium, surprisingly, 4.1. Silver on this one is 11 parts per million. A little bit smaller silver. See if I see anything else worth noting. Vanadium, selenium. Again, I'm going to try and show you the gold and silver. Let me center them on the screen for you. Don't think you're going to be able to see, but maybe I can enhance the video. So that's why we're here. With numbers like this, working just the tailings, you can imagine what the original vein is like. Definitely worth the time to enter the mine. But the beauty of the tailings is they've already crushed the rock, they've already done the work for you. No special skills required. One guy in a pickup truck can move a ton of material in a day easily. Bring it home and process it for the week, come back on the weekend. Just to show you bucket we're working with. I think you can see that empty, new lid. I'm going to fill that for you now. Now I'm just pulling, random rocks here. I'm not any, cherry picking or any method other than trying to give you a good variety. Try not to give you too many large pieces because then you can't get as much ore in the bucket. You're getting it as it's on the ground here. Take a chance and try and show you this. Don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but in the sunlight you probably can. See if I can move it around. Let me look at the view screen. You see the little flashes of light. We already know the gold values. That's the free mill gold that you're seeing, chances are, because again, we did not penetrate too far in the surface. But here, should have brought a pen with me, but that's gold. Of course, it's fine gold, but you crush this material, pan it, or even run it through a dry wash or sluice or spiral wheel or vibrating table, and it's easy to separate the gold. really just want to give you a good variety, and I'm obviously looking for color. And of course, little flashes of yellow is always a plus. Again, no special skills. Rock crusher and a couple of hands. More of that shiny yellow metal in the bucket. I don't know if you can see me over here. I'm just pulling some from different spots. That one's a little big. There. See if I can top you off, get your money's worth. I think that's pretty good. See that, but that's full, just about to the top. That's probably about 40 pounds right on the dot. Take this cover, seal it in front of the camera. Just assume you see me. Yes, you can. And again, once I hammer this down, you're not getting it open. See how it makes the seal. But again, just extra layer of security. We've got our 2 tape strips here. 448, 449 are the serial numbers. You get one shot with these, mess them up, and you'll see what I mean about peeling. Perfect. One more on the other side. It's basically the same consistency as moving tape, except it's got that separated liner. Just going to give you a close-up look. We're sealed. All that's left for me to do is carry this bucket down to the truck, bring it back to the office, put the listing up, and again, this is exactly the condition you'll get it in. Feel free to test away before you make a decision to buy. Here's your 2 serial numbers. It's exactly what you see when you open the box. And the second number. I don't know if you can see that. And again, Travis Mine, Beatty, Nevada, June 27th. Really curious to see what you find in here, but the values and the ore we pulled just from the waste tailings will be really telling. What's in here probably hasn't seen human eyes in half a century, maybe even more, so who knows what kind of relics, who knows what the vein looks like. I'll leave that to you. Again, thanks for checking us out. Sorry to bore you for 30 minutes, but appreciate you giving it a look.